Welcome back. How have you been?
I haven't been feeling too well. My stomach is still upset due to celiac disease. I was hoping today that I could learn more about my condition and which foods to avoid.
Absolutely, we can definitely do that. Firstly, I would like to explain the pathophysiology of your condition. Celiac disease is a genetic autoimmune disorder where the ingestion of gluten leads to the damage of your small intestinal cells. Your small intestinal cells have finger-like projections called villi which reach out and grab your food to further digest it. But when gluten is around, it causes damage to these finger-like projections and they wither. These cells are tightly packed together, but when gluten is around, not only does it cause damage to the villi, but it causes gaps between the cells, meaning that the gluten is able to slip between those cells.
So is this why I have cramps in my stomach?
Yes, the gluten is able to slip between your cells and it causes an autoimmune reaction, which leads to upset stomach, vomiting, fatigue, bloating, etc.
So which foods am I able to consume?
Well, gluten is only found in wheat, barley, and rye. The most important part is being able to read food labels at home and in restaurants so you know what foods to consume. So here I have several food items to show you how to read a food label. Wheat is a common ingredient in many foods. Breads, cereals, dressing, etc. may contain gluten. Look at the labels and separate these foods with and without gluten.
Alrighty.
All finished?
Got done.
Alright, let's see. Okay, as you see, most breads contain wheat and bleached wheat flour. So you have 100% whole wheat bread, you have corn tortillas, and you have fruit and yogurt special K. So these three, did you put this in the category for having wheat or not having wheat?
I put these in the category of being gluten.
These have gluten.
Yes.
So absolutely. Anything with wheat will have gluten. So even these corn tortillas, which is a corn product, still has wheat flour. And the Special K, even though it does contain rice, it still has wheat as a product, so you did very good. Now the second pile, this is your gluten-free pile.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So your olive oil dressing, your rice, and your Rice Krispies. That's right. Now what about this Greek dressing? There are a lot of ingredients and they're very small, but if you look at the bottom, it says milk, wheat, and eggs.
Oh my.
So certain products like this you have to be very cautious with because there are so many tiny ingredients. But overall, you did very well.
So what foods are actually gluten-free? Because it seems like they all have traces of gluten.
So rice, cassava, corn, soy, potato, tapioca, beans, quinoa, flax, buckwheat, etc. I have many great online resources that I will send you. They're all gluten-free. So for example, these Rice Krispies, they are an okay item because they do contain rice. But the Special K, as we mentioned, although it does have rice, it still has wheat, so that is an unsafe product. So be cautious with your food labels.
What about when I eat out?
Make sure to look at the menu for gluten-free section. Nowadays, most restaurants will allow you to order meals gluten-free, and they will cook them in a separate area with non-contaminated cooking utensils. The key to eating out is just like grocery shopping. Look at your ingredients. There's also an app called Find Me Gluten Free for iPhone and Android that will show you gluten-free options within your area. Also, while you're eating out, you can still eat fruits, vegetables, and meats. Just be cautious with how it's cooked. For example, if you have chicken tenders, the breading may contain gluten. If you have a green bean casserole with stuffing, the stuffing may contain gluten, or a fruit cobbler. Be careful with the breading.
Okay, thank you so much. It seems like the most difficult part of this is differentiating between what's gluten and what's not gluten.
Absolutely. So if you were to summarize what you learned today, what would you say?
I've learned heard that with celiac disease, foods containing wheat, rye, and barley contain gluten. All other fruits, vegetables, and meats are gluten-free. But I need to be cautious with how these foods are cooked and prepared, especially at restaurants. I need to double check to make sure that I can order my food gluten-free and always check to make sure there's a gluten-free menu. I will also check into that app and the other resources that you will provide me with. I'm so excited to learn.
Absolutely. I would like to make a follow-up one in 2 weeks. That sound good?
That sounds marvelous. I can't wait.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
All right.